Okay, I'd like to call to order the North Oakland Transportation Authority Board meeting. Today is March 15th, 2018. We're here in the NODA offices. Please, the time is 4:35. Please pay respects to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda. Roll call.
Bill Dunn.
Here.
Margaret Payne.
Here.
Chris Barnett.
Here.
Mike Flood.
Here.
Bruce Pearson.
Here.
Eric Snett. Mike McDonald.
Here.
Kathy Albus. Gregory Wilson. Roberta Hrabowski. Ken Van Hortleet.
Here.
Eric Dolan. Eric Wilson. James Barnett.
Okay, got a quorum. Moving on to the approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Moved.
Support.
Supported. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. On to the minutes. Any questions on the minutes?
Move to approve the minutes.
Moved
Support.
and supported by Mr. Flood. Any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Director's report.
Good afternoon. Our rights for the month of February were 2,917, which is 76 up from last year, and we had 4 snow days. We've given 780 more rides in January and February compared to last year. We've finalized our intergovernmental agreement, and I thank Julie Savard for retyping the document. I know the communities have brought it back to their boards. I know that there's an issue that we'll be talking about with Oxford Township regarding it. They've had some questions about it, but we'll review it on the agenda item. I've also included some information about the CTAA membership in the packet, which was discussed last month. It's on our agenda this month. Legal counsel is still undecided for NODA. Hopefully there'll be a suggestion at the next meeting. We need to start organizing for our millage. I was thinking that we were okay with April, but we need to get the information to Oakland County, our ballot language, by May 15th, which means all the communities need to approve that language before then, which means we probably should schedule a millage meeting really pretty quickly so that we can approve the wording and the documents so that you can bring it to your boards in April. Our next meeting will be held May 17th at Oxford Township. Thank you.
Any questions? There'll be a motion to receive and file.
So move. Support.
Moved and supported. You get that, Joe?
I'm just a little confused. We're having an April meeting, right?
Oh, did I say May? I did.
What is it?
Oh, I'm just reading my report, but I didn't write April. Yes, we are having an April meeting.
April 19th. Okay, April, it's on the agenda.
It
April
is.
19th.
April 19th.
Okay, it's been moved and supported.
I'm sorry, who did that?
It was Barnett,
I moved it.
Van
Okay.
Portfleet.
All right.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any public comment on items not on the agenda? Seeing none? On to the bills. Any questions on the bills? And the bills total was it 23,000? I had it this way. 23,296.86. Would there be a motion to approve the bills?
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. Van Portfleet, Flood, in the amount of 23,296.86. There's no other questions. Roll call.
Dunn.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Barnett.
Yes.
Flood.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Van Portleet.
Yes.
Would there be a motion to receive and file the financial activity report?
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. Any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. On to old business, legal counsel for NODA.
as I said I would do last meeting, I have names of 2 attorneys that would not have conflicts that could serve the North Board. I think some of you might know them. Both would be willing, and so we can talk about it. One is John Starin of Starin Christ. I don't know what's it called. Anyway, I'll pass these out. He does all municipal work. You can read his bio. And then the other is Lisa Hamame, who also some of you might know through MTA, or she's done some work recently for the Paint Creek Trail. So neither would charge a retainer, and hourly rates would have to be discussed with them. I didn't get that from them yet, so.
Would there be any problem with just taking these, reading them over and then getting back with us, Chris, on a...
No problem. I mean, I told both of them that there's nothing like pending today that we need help with, but it's just that we're trying to identify someone that wouldn't have a conflict.
So, could we ask you to get a price per hour?
Yeah, I did, yes. I asked both of them to provide that. They wanted to kind of have an idea of the potential workload, and I said it's hard to say because, so maybe if we could could we figure out how many hours were billed to us the last couple of years?
Sure.
And we could say...
We had 0 last year, but
Right.
but this year we have the millages, so we probably will. So I'll look back and see about how
Okay.
much we had for that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to disclose that I do know Lisa Hamame. She did some work when she was with a different law firm for the village, and I think she did a fine job, but I just want everybody to know that that was out there.
Okay. She's not doing it now, though?
No.
Okay.
She knows.
Yeah, neither of these, yeah, and they both are familiar. I mean, John is the city attorney for the city of Rochester Hills. But they both said, they did the conflict checks, which is a common term in the law of biz, and they would both be able to represent NODA because they don't work in any of the communities that are represented. So,
Yes.
It does say here that Mr. Stern counsels Oxford DDA.
Where does it say?
Yes.
Oxford, downtown, secretary.
Well, I don't remember. I've been on there for 2 years, so.
That would be a conflict.
So, if we got one with a conflict, we only got one left.
Because they get some of our money on our military, right?
I don't know that is either, I'll check with him again. I didn't think he said he was, do you know, was he?
In the past, he has.
Okay.
I don't believe he's
I don't-
Bill's on the commission.
No, I used to be. I had been on the DEA for 2 years. So, I mean, they could have switched attorneys.
They used him in one instance.
I mean, just so everybody knows, I asked our township attorney, who all of you know, hey, give me a couple names of good people that we could work with that, and I know both of these people, but he said the same thing, they both be good. We gave Lisa's name to the Paint Creek Trail committee, council, and they use her now, so yeah, I mean, if anyone has any other ideas, feel free to bring them to our group, right?
Okay,
Can we just find out if
I will.
Ian's on that?
I'll send that to Lynn. Yes, I'll find out. I just sent him a message, we'll see if he responds. Well, here.
Okay, we just go ahead and move on. Intergovernmental agreement, I will tell you that the township board last night, myself and Marjorie were kind of disappointed that the vote went 5-2, wasn't even close. We had one, I'm not going to comment There's some small items that if they were corrected, I'm sure that the township will vote in favor of it.
Are these items that we have to correct, or?
Lynn, if Lynn takes care of some items on the agreement, I'm sure we will have the votes.
Well, that's kind of open. I'm curious to know, are Joe's points, Joe Ferrari gave us?
He is a lone wolf.
So we can disregard
I would
changing the structure and voting structure?
I would just totally disregard that.
Okay.
But it failed 5-2.
Bill and I need to do a little more homework with our board members to give them information that they didn't previously have.
I'll give you an example.
We need to work harder.
The one where Joe said that we need to have elected people spending NOTA money.
Yeah.
And a couple of the people didn't realize that we received substantial monies from other places, a couple $100,000 here, a couple $100,000 or money there. And they went after the meeting. If I'd have known that, it would.
Yeah.
So we have to do a better job of informing our board, I guess. I'm sure it'll pass the next month. Can I ask?
I want to introduce myself. I'm glad you turned to me. Why am I here?
Yes, why are you here?
I apologize for being late, and I'm here from Mork because Kathy Alvis isn't able to come anymore.
Okay.
We've made some changes internally, and so I handle transportation things at Mork, and so
Okay.
I think I'm going to be attending rather than Kathy Alvis. I'm Carla Dino Guinea.
Pardon?
My name's Carla Dino Guinea.
You're going to have to probably spell that for Mr. Young.
C or K or?
Carla with a C, Dean, D-E-A-N, hyphen, O-G-E-N-E. O-G-E-N-E. Yup, yup.
Okay, I'm going to take just a second, just so everybody can, we can introduce ourselves to you. And we'll start down there with our manager.
I'm the director. Nice to meet you.
Chris Barnett, I'm the Township Supervisor in Orion Township.
Kevin Van Port Fleet, Village of Lakeland Council President.
Bill Dunn, Oxford Township Supervisor.
I'm Bruce Pearson, the Addison Township Supervisor.
Mike McDonald, Village President in Leonard.
Mike Flood, Orion Township Trustee.
Margie Payton, Oxford Township Trustee.
I'm Joe Young, manager for the village of Lake Orion, and also this acting secretary here.
Okay, nice
So
to meet everyone.
your position, Kathy was an at-large. So will we need to,
Won't their organization have to send us something that she is the,
well, isn't that large elected by this board? Or is it by position?
No, it's elected by the community, and I don't remember.
It's an at-large
This is
position.
an at-large
that
versus,
we
it's
would-
a non-voting position. So,
What?
right.
No, hers was.
Oh, hers was, yeah. it
Remember we
was.
changed
Oh, that's
it.
true, we did.
They make contributions.
Yeah, they
But
did.
that would be
Right.
someone we'd have to officially.
Well, I'll make a motion then to thank Kathy Alvis for her service and welcome Carla Dino Jean to the NOTA board as the at-large representative for
Mork.
More.
Mork. Okay.
That was just to welcome her?
That was a motion.
That was a
Second.
motion? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
We had enough on the interlocal.
we approved, the Orion Township Board approved,
March 5th.
approved it.
Okay.
Yep.
Village of Leonard approved it.
And Addison has approved of it. It just went back because of the corrections to make sure that it was what it was supposed to be to our attorney, but we're all set too.
The village of Lake Orion will be approving it, but, yeah, but were there some minor changes?
They were
They were
words.
the ones that were put into the last,
So the most recent copy is good?
yes, other than whatever it is today. so.
Lynn, is that the one with the yellow highlights and viewing?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
There were things like, at our meeting, we appointed myself and Margie, and we failed to appoint an alternate The bylaws state that you have to have an alternate. And he didn't feel comfortable until he gets his stuff corrected. But it's that and small other things. We promise we'll work on it and get back to here next month.
So what you're saying, you're gonna be hitchhiking down 24 now?
Well, maybe not. CTAA membership, this is under new business. Would you like to take this over?
Yes, Chris Barnett had brought this up at the last meeting. He had been in Washington DC and had met with one of the representatives of the CTAA, is that right?
The director, actually.
And it felt that the membership for NODA, being a part of this national organization, would benefit us. So there's a cost of $1,000 for NODA to join the CTAA. That's based on a $500 fee plus $25 per vehicle that we have, and we have 20 vehicles. There's a number of...
Wouldn't it be a $250 fee because we're considered that smaller category? I thought.
All right.
I think we were,
Was it a different
I can't
price?
connect to the web.
Okay.
Maybe there's an
option that I didn't...
Yeah, there is,
So, okay.
yeah, so there's a small, I think when I talked to him, the base price is $250 and $500 and I think $1,000, and then it's $25 per vehicle, so I thought it was $750. I could be wrong. It's on the website breaks down the levels of membership, and it's based on the population we serve. And I think we're the smallest category, I believe, which I think would be $250 plus $25. Well, for today's purposes, you could say a max of $1,000 could be $750.
But isn't it 500 plus 25 per vehicle, and there's 40 vehicles? And that
20 vehicles. 20 vehicles, correct?
It is. But this is a small urban, so if we consider ourselves, maybe we fall under the rule, maybe it's a lower price for that.
I think it is. I'll look it up.
Print it off.
I think if I
Could you...
Yeah,
Tell us what-
so I was at a conference with SEMCOG, and the executive director of the CTA the focus was infrastructure, transportation and things, and so CTA, the best way to describe it to this group would be very similar to the MML or the MTA, except they are advocates for transportation systems. And their wheelhouse is actually smaller transit systems like NODA across the country. And if you go to their website, which if it works, I'll tell you in a second, they're across the country, but they are not only a firm that lobbies and provides information, again, very similar to the MTA for us township people, the role they provide. But they also provide a lot of other ancillary benefits like discounts on vehicle fleet repair, on purchasing of tires, on there's fuel discounts, and then obviously there's educational aspects, insurance discounts. Again, whether or not that would be a savings for us, I don't know. They provide driver background checks for free as part of your membership. But this stuff is in the packet, right? Yeah.
Right, it is.
So it's and the more I've researched it and talked to, I did talk to a few people that were familiar with the organization, and it seems like a great opportunity for us. They also could identify other potential funding sources. It's just kind of a good organization that I think would be beneficial to NODA. So.
I do know when I dealt, my contacts with SEMCOG and SMART, they're all part of this. And it seems like most organizations are a part of it. I don't know if we would get the savings back in that, but I do think there are contacts. We've just, most of the training I know is suggested. We've been told to go, but most of them are their way. I think it's in Pennsylvania this year, and we've just never done out-of-state training before. We just never made that step, but I do think it would probably be a great resource for us, to send possibly me for that. I think it's a 2-day seminar.
So when you become a member of this organization, do they give you, what's your participation? Like they give you monthly newsletters or what?
Yeah. So, trying to pull up. Yeah, so they give you there's, you know, I'm on the website finding stuff. There's latest news, they have like a magazine they send out, and then they have,
Let's see, Community Transportation Magazine.
right. And what I learned when I was there was that, you know, they certainly don't, Scott Bogren is the executive director, that's who presented in DC at this conference. What they, you know, they don't guarantee this, but he said most of their members, you know, with the benefits that they're providing, actually gain more than the cost of their membership. With the answer, now they don't guarantee you're going to save enough money on fuel and stuff to make the $750 or $1,000, but again, I don't see a lot of downside. I think that it's a good. I think that especially as things evolve and change, and I'm sure if you've heard the news today that they are. I'll talk when we get to my comments about RTA. That's coming back for sure. 100%. It's going to be on the ballot. So for things like that, I think just having an organization like this that we can make sure we're protecting what we've built here is important. So with that, I would make a motion to, I'd move that we authorize NODA to join the Community Transportation Association of America with annual dues not to exceed $1,000.
Support.
Correct.
Moved and supported. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask a question. Could we add that we put it in try it for a year and see if it's something that we're good at or it's good for us?
I should amend my motion to say make the appropriate budget adjustments. And then, yeah, I think that we would need to, I think when we do our budget for next year, we would have to budget for this. This would be an expense we need to budget for. So at that time, just like what we do in our township board, when we approve our budget, and if we budget our MTA dues, then we're, you know, essentially approving it. So I would say, in my opinion, we would address that when we approve our budget.
On an annual basis.
I think we should get some type of feedback from our director before renewing, because unless we get intermittent feedback on what, if anything, their role has been or could be, rather than just blindly, I appreciate that they're advocates, but it would be nice to know if there are any other advantages for the organization directly.
And the training's in June, so I'd be curious to see if I were to go to the training, if I benefit from it. And we have our budget information in September, so I'll know if it would be worthwhile to continue it for next year, or if it's something that's not really worthwhile.
Okay, there's a motion.
Supported.
I just have one quick comment to make. Our insurance is budgeted at $156,000, so if they could help us by their quote and get a better price, I'd be very interested in that.
I totally agree. I don't think, the intent of my motion wasn't to say we're going to just renew annually every year. I think that we're going to know pretty quickly if there are, you know, if there's benefits, and by way of savings, education, potential grants we may find out about, or other funding sources. So, yeah, that's my comments.
What is their yearly, do you go by the calendar year?
Well, it depends on when you sign up.
Oh, so, okay.
So that's what they told me. So I'm looking at, so the categories: rural, small urban, and then non-emergency medical transport, specialized, tribal. So rural is transit providers for whom Section 5311 funding is the single largest source of federal transit investment, or who primarily serve communities below 50,000. So I guess our combined population is north of 50,000, right? What's yours, Bill?
Call it 20.
Yeah, so we're at 30, we're at 40 with the village.
7.
So small urban is, or no, rural's $250 a year plus 25 for every vehicle. Small urban is $500 a year plus 25 for every vehicle. So yeah, it's either going to be $750 or $1,000. Probably it will be the $1,000 because of our combined population.
I'm sorry, can you go back, because it says urban fixed route bus operators. Under the rule, does it say
That's why
fixed route?
No, that's why we may categorize, we may be in.
Because you don't have the fixed routes, right?
True.
No.
So based on that, yeah, so.
We might, and if it's based on each community individually, maybe we would fill in.
It's going to be $750 or $1,000. Good point. And so my motion is up to 1,000 for annual dues.
Okay, everybody clear? Roll call?
Dunn,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Barnett,
Yes.
Flood,
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
McDonald. Dino Jean. Say that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Say it one more time.
Bill.
Paul.
Van Wert, Lee. I'm
Yes.
Dean O'Genney,
Oh,
Dean
Dean
Ogden.
Ogden, I'm sorry.
but I answered it anything.
I
I'm gonna trash that the first couple times.
People like to say Dean O'Gene because it rhymes, so that's good too.
Ogden.
The only thing I would say is that I would also recommend that we, I don't know if we need to do it right now, or if Ms. Gustafson is available to attend, able to attend, but the conference this summer is in Pittsburgh, and it's June 10th through 14th. And I think that it'd be nice to allow at least our executive director to attend. Member before May 4th is $450 to attend. After May 4th is $550. Non-member $700. So I don't know if we want to do this right now or just at a future meeting, but I would be at least. Do we have an education line in our budget?
We have a, member, we do.
Obviously, there'd be some.
When is the
travel.
early expire, Chris?
May 4th.
May 4th.
We have one more.
Good on a meeting in April, though.
Where is it in Pennsylvania?
But if we can take care of it now.
But we have $5,000 in our budget for training,
For seminars and conferences.
seminars and conferences, so we might be able to just do that. Do we need to, do you want more time, or would you like us to take some action today?
Let's take care of it right now.
I would like to go. I've always wanted to go. I've heard good things about it from the people that have gone. And SEMCOG have always pushed us to go.
If it's in Honolulu, I want to go with it.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's beautiful in June. Well, I mean, the nice thing too is, yeah, Pittsburgh is now halfway across the world, so
Right.
it'd be a good way to test it out.
Take a note of vehicle.
Okay,
I would move to authorize the executive director to attend the CTAA 2018 Expo in June.
Support.
moved and supported. Any other questions? Roll call.
Let's see here. Dunn,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Barnett,
Yes.
Flood.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Ogden.
Yeah.
Van Forkley.
Yes.
I'm going to ask this board, would it be appropriate to have a do-over?
Which
I
one?
mean, to add an agenda item to
Oh.
the meeting?
If we would go back and discuss legal counsel.
Okay.
We can go back and discuss RTA.
I'd like to go back, I'd like to talk about RTA, plus the millage that's coming up, if it's going to be appropriate, because we seem to be having a deadline approaching very quickly.
I'm fine with adding it.
I would like to talk about the millage.
Would there be a motion to add it on to the agenda?
So, yeah.
Support.
Okay, Margie moved and Mr. Flood supported. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Lynn, what do you got on the millage?
You're gonna do that now? It's part of our new business. You can do the RTA thing right
I'm sorry, Joe?
now. I'm sorry, you're gonna talk about RTA? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, RTA and the millage.
Millage, our millage is ending in 2018. We will be collecting revenue in 2019, so our actual cash will be coming in 2019 for both Oxford and for Orion. Addison is the year later. Addison will go into year 2020. However, this is the year that we need to put it on the ballot for the 19 year, so that we can draw on that. Last year, the last time we went in August, I know the RTA is also on that ballot this August, right? So
November.
Oh, they're on November?
Yeah.
They're not in August, okay. Previously, we've requested .25 mils, and it's been adjusted slightly through Headley, so it's just a little bit under that, like 2.4 or something, with some change in each of the communities. I still believe that that amount would be a very good amount to continue to go for another 5 years. So that's what I'm going to present to the board when if we want to have a meeting. I know I've I've done a forecast for 5 years that I've passed out, just a rough estimate on what, basically what we currently have that'll go through 19. The big question that we have each year is what we are going to collect in grants, and that's always the what if. We never know if we're going to collect any money. We've been very fortunate in collecting in the last 5 years, which is why we have had some excess, but we never know from year to year if that's going to continue. We also don't know if TTI's 200,000 will continue. These are things we just are unaware of. So I think a .25 renewal would be a safe bet going forward. I think we've been able to meet our obligations. We've been able to grow with them if we need to, and also purchase some vehicles if we need to purchase them on our own. So we're not completely dependent on just the grants for vehicle replacement. So,
Apologize, tickle in my throat.
So my question is, can we just go ahead and have the language written up by our attorney and
What attorney?
I have
our
language.
town? Oh,
I have language from the last election, which should pretty much be the same.
except change it to
Except
renewal.
change the renewal, I would think.
Yeah.
So that's where we would have to probably have someone review it. I could, if we, the question I think we'd have to decide is if it's going to be a renewal, then it renews at that lower rate, right, under the Headley. So that's what would be a difference, because last time was our first time. So I think
Okay.
the adjustment that we would have to have an attorney look at is the wording on that.
If you do decide to put it back to the .25, then you have to announce in the wording that it's an increase.
Okay.
It's an
Whereas
additional
if we
tax.
go to, it's just a renewal. A renewal is very,
Safe.
much more
Right, I would think-
appetizing.
Yeah.
That's what you have to, we run into that legal problem ourselves, we're discussing that on our millages,
Right?
and you're gonna get an opinion, whether that's gonna be a renewal or it has to be an addition when
Okay,
you do a heavy override.
yes.
But if you do a renewal, you just say, well, we'll just say renewal.
Right.
But it has to stay at the current millage rate.
But then will Headley roll that back?
Or
It will.
It'll
eventually,
be rolled back even further?
Yes.
every year.
But I still think that would be a safe
Okay.
amount.
All right.
I do, because our property values have been kind of going up, and I think
But
we're
we
better so
really
far.
do need to have an attorney look at it
We do,
before
yes.
before the final decision is made, because
Right,
it makes a difference.
exactly.
So should we act on an attorney tonight and maybe have Lisa?
I would like to nominate Lisa Hamami as the
Oh, that'd be great.
counsel.
Support.
And
What if, just so, before, the one, she was gonna see if she could charge the municipal rate. Technically, we're not a municipality. She works for Foster Swift, they have strict rules. Municipal rate versus the non-municipal rate is like twice the price, like $290 an hour versus like $150. So just, she wasn't sure if their firm would accept grant the municipal rate. She works for a firm, it's not her. So
Okay, so.
I do know from her that her rate could be anywhere from $150 to $290 an hour.
So
So,
subject to receiving the municipal rate,
And if not,
and if not,
Is there-
if we can determine how many hours were spent previously on the ballot language.
Did you get an answer at all from the other?
not yet, I texted them, but-
They're gonna give us municipal rate, come on.
yeah.
Is there any way we could,
We're a governmental authority, we're actually a governmental entity, so.
is there any way we could just go ahead and give it to one of our attorneys? I don't see a real
Yeah, we
conflict of
could
interest.
give it to ours,
Or,
the cheap price.
just have this taken care of and then, continue to look for an attorney rather than
as long as
get
you-
charged $290.
Didn't we go through this already once?
But there was, beg your pardon?
This is a neutral item, it's a tax.
Yeah.
It's not
It-
over going to lawsuit against.
There is no conflict, just for this one issue.
All right.
I'm good with that until we can nail down,
Great.
That was nice
I'm good
of-
with it.
That was nice of Bill to pay for this. That was very nice.
Yeah, thank you, Bill.
I second.
Wait till you get my bill from Honolulu. So,
What happens to the motion? Was there support?
Yes, there was. So you have to call for the vote.
So this is a vote for what now?
Unless you want to withdraw your
Lisa.
motion.
Linda, Lisa, Laura, whatever.
Mike withdrew.
What's the board's,
Lisa.
what's the board's pleasure? Should we just give it to a local attorney for right, just for this one time?
Or to one of our attorneys, I believe is what you had said.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Who's your attorney?
Yeah.
We'd use ours.
Bear Howlett, Mary Cherry, Bear Howlett, Troy.
Why don't you go ahead and, how much is their rate?
I think it's 125.
That's fine.
Yep.
Fine with me.
So I'll make a motion to use our attorney.
Do we need a motion
We-
for the board to approve the renewal?
We're gonna get there.
Oh,
We're-
that's
we're-
just for the ballot.
There's already a motion on the floor.
I withdrew.
Oh, you withdrew the motion, so.
You withdraw your support on there.
Okay, so the motion, should we, well, you know what the...
The Bear Howlett is the name of the firm for just the ballot, like,
Okay, it was moved, was there support?
Support.
Supported? We're not spending,
So we're going to make, this ballot is, language is going to be used across Orion and Oxford.
all three elections.
Well, Addison isn't on this year.
We're not on this year.
So you're going to do yours next year in 2020, you're not just sure, but it's just not this year, okay.
I don't believe I can put it up this year. I don't think we're on this year.
You,
We can't put it on next year, there's no election.
there was no election in August?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, there is a gubernatorial election.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
This year there is, but not next year.
I was wondering.
And I think our funding goes until 2020,
Through 20 and it collects in 21.
2021.
No, I think it goes through 19. It ends December of 19, we collect in 20. So that's why you normally would go next year. Like, we're going this year, you're a year behind us. So you would normally go next
Well,
year.
get that, and I'll decide, I'll have to get back with our legal counsel when we have to do this. So I get the language, it's all the language for everybody.
You got this, Joe? What was the motion?
The motion was to authorize Bear Howlett to review the ballot language, the millage renewal ballot language.
Okay, everybody got it? Let's do a roll call.
Okay, Dunn.
Yeah.
Payne.
Yes.
Barnett.
Yes.
Flood.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Ojanay.
Yes.
Van Portman.
Yes. Okay. What's next?
RTA. Did they meet, did anyone else meet with RTA representatives besides me? So I sent an email to this group. Did you guys get it? Talking about CTAA and RTA
When you said
I just got back in town.
last week.
Oh, no, I didn't get it.
No, I didn't
Did you get it?
I got one on the CTAA, I don't,
Well,
How recent?
I'm gonna look, because I was just checking to see, I know I sent it.
I saw it on CTA from you.
I went by junk order.
So yeah, I sent it on Monday, not last week. Yeah, and it was the CTA, but in the second paragraph, just said I met with representatives from RTA.
Oh, I saw.
So basically, I met with Brett Razigan works for Brooks Patterson, and he's in the Economic Development Department. And Brooks has assigned Brett to work with the representatives from the RTA to see if they can come up with a proposal that would suit, that would be palatable to the county. So Brett gets the fun job of doing that. So he presented to, he came with two gentlemen into our office, and kind of they talked about what the proposal would do for northern Oakland County, specifically Orion Township. And I kind of explained how NOTA works, and they knew a decent amount, actually. They didn't know everything. They want to come talk and present to our board, to this board. Also, Bruce and Bill, they'll be at the lunch on Monday in Independence presenting. So you could hear them twice. So I was going to see if we could put them on this agenda. I didn't hear back from anyone, so I'd like to invite them to our April meeting. And so they realize why we don't like the plan. They realize, you know, I told them loud and clear, the residents in our community don't want to feel like in order to benefit from these tax this tax increase, they have to somehow figure out a way to get to Pontiac to then be able to tap into the system. So what they're trying to do is, I'm not sold on this, but one of the ideas we came up in the meeting, they seem very open to ideas. And one of the ideas we came up in our meeting was, what if we bolstered NODA, did nothing to affect our existing customers, but used the infrastructure that NODA already has in place, and then actually potentially have a partnership where we get the monies that are captured from the millage to potentially expand services and create some loops. Again, not taking away anything from any of our existing customers who utilize NODA. And they thought that was a really good idea, a good way to, they're also now getting a loop up to Great Lakes Crossing as opposed to Pontiac. So they're retooling all of this. I'm not sold on it, but they are open to suggestions. And I also told them last go around, we were confused and concerned from the NODA perspective. Were we going to potentially lose funding? Was our funding going to be funneled through the RTA? So they are trying to take all that information and they want to come talk to us and just have a very open conversation. I didn't feel strong-armed at all. They realize that we generally think it's a terrible idea in northern Oakland County. So I think it's worthwhile to invite them to a meeting, let them present, and really almost have like a workshop with them to voice our concerns, our ideas, and so that's my little update. And it looks like the next meeting is actually at our office at Township Hall.
Are they going for 20 years, 1.2 mils? Is that what they're?
No, 1.5 mils for 20 years or 10. I think it's 20 years.
What was it last time? 1.25?
1.2 for 20.
So they figure going better is going to make it pass or going higher?
The new thing is that, Brooks is, saying we don't want to be a donor community. Most of the, more money will be collected from Oakland County than any other county in the RTA, but we would get not the least amount of benefit, but we wouldn't get as much benefit as Wayne. The new plan in today's Detroit News or Free Press says 105% of the money will come back to Oakland County in the new plan. So before it was 80% in the first plan, 80% of the money would stay in the county. Now it's actually 105%. This is fluid. This is very fluid. But and I'm not advocating for or against it, but I think engaging with NODA ahead of time, if it is going to be on the ballot and if by chance it does pass, I think it'd be crazy for us not to be hedging our bets if it does pass to say, hey, we don't want NODA to be eliminated, and if it does pass, then maybe we could, because what I told them is nobody can do it better, cheaper, more efficient than what NODA does. This is a lean, mean machine right here. We are very specific on who we serve, and we spend our dollars very frugally. We're not this $1 billion thing that RTA is going to be. So we could take this same model and potentially provide additional services, potentially, to these communities. So that's my basic report.
Any other comments on RTA?
I just like to say I agree, especially about the new machine. This is a great organization, and to hedge the bets is a great idea.
It's like chicken soup, it can't hurt. Okay, public comment. Any public? Yes.
One question is, when are we going to allow the board in the next meeting, like choosing to renew the millage, doing the renewal, like when does the board elect to do the renewal for the 0.25?
I couldn't hear you, Lynn, with it.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
I said the board will have to, because of the timing, we'll probably have to do it.
I think you have to get on the ballot by May.
It has to be to the county by May. And communities have to approve the language in April, which means we need to approve it as a board. If we're going to approve that village renewal of 0.25 as a board, we need to do that as soon as possible. So
Well, let's
then we
have a
can work on
special
the-
meeting then.
Okay,
I mean, at the end of the month
Yeah.
or beginning of mid-April or before our regular.
You got-
Could make a motion
Yes, to-
today.
yeah,
It's not on the agenda. Well, it is now, that's right, we put it
Yeah,
on the
we
agenda.
The only thing is, there's spring break in here, I mean, some of us won't be here.
Yeah.
They could. They could leave.
Well, I can, what do they call it, FaceTime you from the beach?
Lynn, why don't we put it in Lynn's hands to get the ballot language, once that's
Send it out
addressed
to
and
everybody.
we've got it,
all right.
then we can move on from there with the idea in our minds that at some point we're gonna have to meet probably before our next meeting.
But we each need to meet before our respective boards.
Right, which
In
the
April.
cycle begins in April at this
Right.
point.
What's the earliest meeting between the townships and the villages?
You need to get it to us so we can put it on.
Or second
all
one.
that
Right, and I can
is
get
the
it to you very
township.
quickly, because I have the language. It's just a matter of adjusting it for the renewal.
Our last meeting in
So
April
that's
is
actually,
the 16th.
I get it to you today.
Yeah, I think that's our,
It actually goes on the ballot.
Second
for
Wednesday?
Each township, not for
Ours
another.
is on Monday.
No, right, it's on the ballot.
third
This is
Monday.
the two townships too.
The two-
No, it's gonna be three,
It could be all three.
because Addison won't pay for a
Ours is
special
first and
election
third.
in 19, so.
All right, so we'll be all three. So, I mean,
Well, we can authorize Lynn to send the language, once it's approved by the attorney, to the three townships to have it approved.
To the
for-
township clerks of each community
for the
So-
renewal.
for the renewal, so they can put it on their agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Further, and then be very specific about for their April meeting as well.
Yes. So do we want to schedule any other meetings with our group before that, or?
I don't know why,
Okay, that's fine. I'll just send out the renewal.
because we're gonna have to wait for
documents,
them to come back from the
approve
communities to see how they voted.
So was there a motion to authorize her to forward it to the three townships?
So moved.
Support. Okay, thank you.
For the renewal. Thank you.
And did we agree to invite RTA? Here
I don't know
Not
what
yet.
to, I just sent him an email, so,
Not yet.
I mean, we'll just put him on the agenda. I mean, I will, when he confirms, I will connect him with you.
Okay, as an orient.
Yeah.
Run a bus up 75 to the
They're all eyes on it.
Great Lakes. and the-
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Now you can invite RTA.
Well, we're just gonna put them on the agenda.
Okay.
I believe that's it. Public comments, none. Motion to receive and file the monthly rider and mileage reports.
So moved.
Been moved. We'll do Van Port Fleet and flood. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Board member comments, starting with Margie.
I just want to say it's a pleasure to serve on a board with that operates so efficiently.
Unlike Oxford or?
Caduce.
Or RCA.
That's it. I agree.
No comment.
No comment?
Bruce? You gonna be in Florida next month?
Another week or so, yeah. But I am worried, I will just say, I am worried a little bit about this RTA because my voters are going to be voting at the same time at RTA if this comes up. I mean, they're going to hear about it, it's all going to be, so then we're talking 1.5 plus another, that's 1 3/4 mil for transportation, where we're only getting NOTA. I'm not sure I don't think my residents are going to like this.
We're gonna find out. I have no comment.
I have none.
Carl?
My comment is that the individuals that I know at Mork that use NOTA really appreciate it, and so I know that it's a great asset to the community, and I look forward to working with the board.
Welcome,
That's it. Thank you.
welcome. No other comment except that the state of the township is on March 28th in the morning, Wednesday morning. You're all invited if you'd like to come hear what we're up to in Orient. And that's all I got.
Manager comment?
Thank you for pushing.
Cameraman comment? Joe comment? Your motion to adjourn?
Move.
Support.
Moved and supported, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks very much.
Nice to meet you.